Hello healers and health seekers, it's me Ichota, healing on the medical medium protocols for a couple of years now, maybe 25 months. And I wanted to talk to you today about finding your why. It's actually sort of a part 2 to the video that I did last time about how do you continue on the protocol, and it's kind of a part that I forgot to put in there, but so I'll just make a whole video of it. That's fine. I'll do that. It was inspired by 2 posts that I saw kind of on the same day. Okay, so the same day I posted that video, I saw a post by Abundant Health Plus. So she posted that same day, "Many people ask me how I manage to stay so focused with the medical medium protocol I follow. There are times that I really would like to eat something that I know wouldn't be good for me, or sometimes I don't feel like getting up every workday at 4 a.m. to make sure my celery juice and heavy metal detox smoothie are made. Absolutely. There is one thing that keeps me in check, and that is remembering my why. Why I started this protocol in the first place. I remember sitting on the stairs desperately crying in pain because my skin hurt so bad. I remember laying in bed while the room would spin thinking I was dying. I look at old pictures of how I looked compared to today. Yes, I remember why I do the things I do each and every day, because I do not want to go back there ever again. You need a strong why to push you through hard times, to resist those temptations and land on your feet. A strong why will override any doubts and temptations. So what's your why?" That is an awesome post. I love it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot to say that in the video. Of course you need a strong why. I was just sort of not thinking about that. And I was really sort of not thinking about how, wouldn't you have the why to start? Like you'd already know your why to get started. But what is your why? Okay, and then here's another one. Dolphin Melody also posted, and I think this was the same day. This is what she posted. "It wasn't easy at first. Anything was easier than feeling so sick. But starting the protocol, I had a lot of work to do. And like I said, finding the truth and answers set my soul free in ways that I can hardly explain. They gave me the ability to already start healing. Why wasn't the protocol easy in the beginning? Because the beginning is where you are the sickest. It's where you're fighting for your life. You haven't seen any proof yet. So you're holding on by the threads you have to survive. You're most likely physically weak, unable to do basic things like making your healing foods, shower, hold your arms up over your head. Maybe you're dealing with insomnia, depression, and heartbreak like I was. It's not easy in the beginning because that's where you do all the dirty work that's going to help you grow. It's all those hurdles that you get through. Prove to yourself time and time again, yes, I can do this. It's the nights and days of getting through the insomnia and still being a decent human being in the world, while still doing your healing foods and not taking it out on something that would hurt your body. It's faith, it's surrender, it's loads and loads of self-compassion, because in the end, that's what got me through. It's loving yourself. It's loving yourself tenderly, being gentle. It's being patient and showing up for yourself like you've never done before. Not only are you healing, but you're learning new ways to be. Your faith is being tested. Your patience tried. And that's where you become a better human being. Through any trials we ever go through, they always expand us in some way, leaving us with a bigger heart, broadened perceptions, and lessons we would have never learned otherwise. Or wise, more understanding of others' trials. The beginning is hard because you're being tested in every way possible. And it's a soul journey, our own journey. But there are so many people to hold your hand to help you through it. I walk beside you in this. And I'm here to help you cross to the other side. I wish I could spend more time connecting one-on-one with you guys, because that is what I love the most. Know that I'm here if you are struggling. Those are 2 posts on Instagram from people that really inspired me. And after I had made the video, and they both were posted the same day, so obviously great minds think alike, and I just had to share those with you because they just were perfect as they were, and I couldn't say it any better. And that's the thing. You've got to find your why. You've got to find what drives you. And I assume if you have found the medical medium path, you have your why. I mean, you have it. You know that you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. You know that you want to get better. You know that you've been down a road where you haven't gotten answers and you've been asking for answers, and you just want to feel better. Isn't that why you would do something like this? Why you would shift everything and change everything? So here's my why. I will tell you my why. My why is because I was at the end of my rope, because I was in all of these chronic illness communities on Facebook. I mean, what else could I do? I was laid up on the sofa. I could get up out of bed in the morning and move to my sofa, and then I spent the whole day on the sofa. I could not do very much movement. I would occasionally walk outside into my backyard, but that would almost sometimes be too hard for me. Sometimes that was too hard for me, and I couldn't do it. And I couldn't shower. I've told you all this before, but in case this is the first video you're watching, I couldn't shower. I couldn't get up off my sofa. Showering, it was like a maybe once a week activity, and it was only because it's like, no, I have to take a shower and I have to figure out how to do this, because you can only go so long without showering. I couldn't stand myself, had to have a shower. But it would take me out for like a couple days. I would be just so exhausted. I could barely stand up in the shower. I couldn't take baths because they were too exhausting. All of the getting up out of the tub and the filling of just the whole thing was just exhausting. I couldn't do it. My nervous system couldn't handle it. I couldn't do basic tasks. I couldn't make my own food. I lost the ability to drive a car for sure. I couldn't go outside my house. If I did leave, it was only to go to doctor's appointments, and I had to wear a mask even in my own car to be able to breathe the air, because I would react and have a really hard time with everything. I couldn't stand for more than 5 minutes without excruciating pain. I had so much pain in my body, every part of my body, everywhere. From, I guess they call it that fibromyalgia pain. It was just pain all over, just everywhere. Everything hurt, but my back would hurt the most. And so I couldn't, 5 minutes was the most that I could stand for. So I couldn't really make food or anything like that. I didn't have the energy or the stamina to stand at a counter and make food, or even move around my kitchen, or do really anything. I have a son. I had a little boy who needed me, and I couldn't be his mom. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do for him as a mother, or be the mother I wanted to be. I couldn't do any of that. And I had tried everything. I mean, I've always believed in natural healing, but I tried conventional medicine, Western medicine. I tried naturopathic medicine. I tried acupuncture and chiropractic and massage therapy, which actually I would say the massage therapy helped the most, but it didn't give me energy back. It didn't, it just helped my pain a little bit. I tried all these different ways of eating to feel better, and at that point, when I was that sick, I had been doing paleo, and then I went to autoimmune paleo, and then I went to like low FODMAP autoimmune paleo, and I think I was about to go to I think my next step was something like low salicylate or something like that. Like, I was one of those, take more foods out and lose more foods, because I was reacting to so much stuff. Couldn't eat all these foods, or I thought I couldn't. And I was just the most miserable I've ever been in my life. And I've lost a child. So it was just a horrible, horrible time. in my life, and I just felt helpless and hopeless and miserable, and I wanted to be able to be a mother to my son. I wanted to be able to go out and do things with my family. I wanted to be able to be a part of the world, and I kind of lost hope that that could even happen. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. And that's my why. Because I know what that feels like, and I never, ever want to know firsthand. I never want to go back there. I never want to go back there. I never want to be in that position again. I lost so much time with my son because I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't, we homeschool, and I couldn't homeschool. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't. My husband was preparing our meals, and he would leave food, and I could put it in the toaster oven to warm it up, and that's what I could do. Get fruit or snacks or whatever, but I never want to go back there. And I started feeling better. And I had there was another supplement protocol that I had been doing right before this, and it's actually kind of what got me better enough to be able to even make a smoothie during the day. But it was like really slow improvement and kind of almost barely noticeable, but it was just a little bit. And when I switched, and when I read the Medical Medium book, I just knew, like, this is the truth and this is gonna help me. Or I thought, it's, what have I got to lose at this point? Like, it doesn't. I was watching people around me get sicker and sicker, the other people in the same communities who were doing the same things and trying to get better, who are suffering from the same illnesses and the same diagnoses. And I saw some of them go in a direction that I was like, this cannot be my life. I can't let this happen. I can't live that way. And they were losing more and more foods, and then becoming where they couldn't even eat any food and had to have a special formula. And then from that special formula, they would go to being on TPN, which is total I don't even know what it stands for. Total something nutrition, which it's the clear liquid that goes through the tubes that is like a glucose sort of solution with like minerals and vitamins, and that's it. There's like no food to it at all. And I did not want that to be my life, and I thought there just has to be a better way. There just has to be a way to heal. Food is supposed to heal you. I knew that in my heart of hearts. I knew it. And I was like, there has to be a better way. And I found it. I found it with Medical Medium, and I started improving. And like the first day I did it, I felt energy in my cells, and it gave me enough energy to make my food for the day, which was amazing to me. That was miraculous. That was fast. The other symptoms, I think it started to improve immediately, right? But the other things improved over time. Over time, there was more healing, and over time, more symptoms fell away. My pain fell away. I was amazed. All of this, like the brain fog, all of this stuff, all of these symptoms fell away. So that's my why. My why is because eating this way makes me feel better, and it makes me heal, and I can't go back. I can't go back. And my worst day, when I have a flare or I'm in my worst position or like the worst time now, is still better than my best day when I was my sickest, and I will not go back. And that's my why. My son is my why. I do this for my son because not only am I healing me, he's healing too, because he's eating the healing foods, and he had a stutter for a while, and that is gone. And his brain fog is clearing, and I can see improvements in him, and his energy is better, and his even self-esteem is improving, and things like that. Like, he's feeling better about things, and he's more able to cope. He used to have just like full on meltdowns when anything would happen, like on actually a daily basis. And that rarely happens anymore now. Now when he has a full-on meltdown, it's because stuff is built up and built up. But he recovers so much faster, and it doesn't. It's so rare now for it to happen. I mean, it's just. I want health for my family, you know. I want health for my son, and that's my why. That's my why. So, what's your why? What's your why that would make you want to stay on a protocol through thick and thin, you know? As long as you're healing, obviously. But to know it works and to help. And it took me time. It did take me time to really trust, because like Dolphin Melody said at the beginning, you're so broken, and your trust is broken, and you've been beaten down, and you've been... How can you trust anything? Because you've tried so many things and none of them worked, and you thought they worked, or maybe they seemed like they were working for a while, and maybe then they just stopped so bad and you got so much worse. And whatever it was, you've been through the ringer. You've been through the ringer. We all have. That's the thing. We reach this point in chronic illness, and when we find medical medium, it's usually when we have tried everything else and it hasn't worked. And so, and this is so different to everything else out there, and it makes it hard to trust it at first. And especially because a lot of us are led here by our intuition, and we have not learned to trust our intuition. But it is so true that healing is a journey, and you are not just healing your body. You're not by a long shot. I have healed so much emotionally and physically. I have restored broken trust. My relationship with my husband has improved because I'm able to trust him more, and gradually we are coming back to each other, where my chronic illness, we really were apart, and it's kind of amazing. And by apart, I mean, I don't mean like we separated legally or anything. I just mean like emotionally, we're not connecting, and it was a huge struggle, and we were both really just stuck in that struggle, and we've been through so many other things together where we were able to come together, but this was not one of them. But he stayed, we both, stayed in the marriage. It was just, so now we're like meeting each other as people again, and coming together again, and talking more, and it's gradually, like little by little, but it's happening. And I think it's really because I'm doing so much emotional healing, and I've done so much work with myself, and I'm doing all this emotional work with myself, and it's making my heart more open. It's letting me open my heart and receive love and give love again. And it's kind of, I don't have the words. It's almost indescribable, because it really is. It's not, you don't just end up healing your body on this. You don't just end up healing the physical things. I mean, like it or not, if we have chronic illness, there is a lot of emotional pain, and you know it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I know that. You know you have a lot of emotional pain. You know that you have been betrayed, probably abandoned. You know that you have felt isolated and alone and helpless and hopeless and scared and angry and all of those things. Like, I know you have felt all of it, because that is just, it's part of it. It's part of it. And you don't know who you can trust, and you don't know, sometimes it's like you just don't know which way is up, you're left feeling just so like beaten down, and that is a lot to recover from. But part of this process, you're doing all the protocols. It's not just food, is it? It's the meditations, and it's talking to the angels, and it's doing those different meditations and restoring that trust and getting that sense of self back and feeling more confident in your own self and building up over time. You end up building that up and building yourself back up from the ground up. It's like you've been torn down and then you build yourself back up, and it's amazing. So that's my why. That's my why. Because the gifts that I am getting out of the healing are just immeasurable. Everything I'm getting back, I'm finding more gratitude. I'm finding just really joy in the small things, peace with myself. When I was chronically ill and I was so isolated and we just didn't have people around, and I really learned to just enjoy my own company, myself, like just to be okay with being alone and not feeling lonely about it, and not feeling, I still love being with people. I still love being with my friends and seeing people and being around people. I do. But I don't mind spending time quietly at home, alone by myself, alone with my thoughts. I can be still. I can just sit there without a phone to distract me. I can just sit there and watch the birds or the skies and be totally content with that. And I love that. I love that there's not that like restless feeling, or that like, I used to just want to get away from myself. Like, I don't want to be alone with my thoughts, and I don't want to be in my head, and I don't, just sort of being uncomfortable with me in general, and which unfortunately I think is an experience probably a lot of people have. And I don't have that experience anymore. I just am okay in however I am. And that doesn't mean I don't have feelings about things sometimes, because sometimes I do. Like, I miss certain friends, and sometimes I will feel certain ways, and I'm still human. I'm not gonna lose humanity just because I'm healing, but most of the time I'm just sort of like okay with things, more peaceful, more relaxed. I like that feeling. I like that feeling more secure in myself, as long as I'm not putting myself through a bunch of stress, which I kind of am right now. Just trying to figure out where we're gonna go next. But that stress will pass once we figure it out, and once we, start getting whatever, that stress will pass. I guess like my baseline now is just more sure of who I am and happier about that. And I think it's getting like better every day. I do. I'm still healing. I'll always be healing. There's always going to be improvement, and there's always going to be room for that. And as long as I'm alive on the planet, there's healing to do, emotional healing and physical healing and whatever. But that's my why. That's why it's pretty easy for me to stay on protocol. Yeah, sometimes I get bored with what I eat, and sometimes I would like more variety or whatever, and sometimes I miss certain foods, and like I'll smell them and then I think, oh, I would like to taste that, but nothing is going to taste as good as it feels to be healing for me. And it's not going to be worth it to set myself back, because I remember what that was like, and I don't ever want to go back there. I just want to keep going forward, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's my why. I would love to hear your why. Please tell me your why. And if you're not sure what your why is, I think you know what your why is. I don't think anyone's not sure. You have your why. So tell me about it. I want to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. I hope this video was helpful. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up down below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button. It's probably in the other direction, but when I look at the thing. Anyway, you can hit that subscribe button whichever where it is. I don't know with this camera. You can ding the bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos. I try to post every Wednesday from a What's Up Wednesday, and I try to post more than one video a week, and sometimes I succeed. And sometimes I'm busy healing. So that's me. Again, thank you for watching. Stay curious. I wish you all the blessings for your continued health and healing. And I will see you next time. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah. Bye-bye.